Howdy folks, this morning's soap is from RazoRock. It's the One X, and it has a fairly soft, you can push your finger in it pretty easy on the insides there in the container. This particular one here has the container has 5 ounces of soap in it. The scent is along the lines of, per my nose, I would say it's like almost like a sweet floral type scent, and I think there might be a touch of musk in it, the best my nose picks up. Got the alum block without the rubber band. I am down to the very bottom. You can kind of maybe see it is right about there. That's about all I have of the unscented witch hazel that's mentholated. And I'm going to follow up today's shave with a Pinard musk. Off camera I'll be using the Shaven Sailor beard oil, and got it whipped up, the lather whipped up over here. It's on a what might be considered wet or a yogurt style consistency. This is an EverReady brush that was reknotted by Strike Gold Shave. It definitely has a floral scent to it, but every once in a while it seems like I will pick up the musk, but not always. It's been kind of hit miss with my nose. This soap I've had for a little while. Never could quite figure out that. I keep on opening the container and smelling it, trying to figure out what even aftershave would come even close that I would have. In other words, to me, per my nose, this scent is kind of unique for what I have here. I don't think I have a whole lot in the way of floral, especially this scent. Seems to be pretty unique to me. This cube is getting smaller, but it seems like, judging by looking at it, it's definitely going to make it to the end of November. It might even make it to the end of the year, I don't know. Which I'd have to go back and look how long I've been using this. This is it's been quite a while since I've been using the cube. I guess you might say get your money's worth. If I remember right, it was at $5.95 or something like that. It wasn't real expensive for a pre-shave soap. And as it goes, does it work? For me, I notice it with some soaps, some not so much. It's just kind of hit and miss whether I notice it or not with various different soaps. So it might be, your mileage might vary if you try a pre-shave soap or an oil for all that. It's leathered up pretty good. I could just about shave with that right there. The shaver of the day is a Gem Micromatic, and it has a Gem Teflon coated blade in it. I think this would be third use. I've been shaving with this shaver all week, and been getting some pretty close shaves. It's a very efficient. I think this is considered the aggressive of the 3 Micromatics. I think the clog proof is supposed to be middle of the road, and then the flying wing I think is supposed to be the mildest of the 3. I think this one here came out in either late 1929, 1930. It is a twist open. If you have not seen one of these in action, to me what I think is really cool about this design, if I can get this to go slow enough, as you get down to closing it and it meets the blade right there, when you go to just that last little bit right there, you can see it moving forward. Just think that's just cool. The little things, huh? But I think, if I remember right, this is, I got it written down, this is I think the 3rd use on this blade. This is a very efficient shaver. So if you're, this would be a good one that if you're in a hurry run a little late in the morning, whatever the case might be. Since this is just a very efficient shaver, you might be able to get by with a 2-pass shave with one of these and get a very good shave at that. I will say that your technique is definitely going to be important with this shaver. This portion right here would be the part that I would start with keeping about as flat as you can against your face until you get used to the shaver itself. With it already being aggressive, changing that angle, by the time you get done with the shave, your face might feel it, in other words. It is a lot of fun to shave with, in my opinion. Gentle pressure. You don't want to put a whole lot with this shaver. There is a blade feel to it. There's a certain amount of feedback. You could, depending on your beard growth, how thick it is, you very well could get by with just a 2-pass shave with one of these. For me, I just think there's just a lot of fun to shave with because of by the time you get done, how close of shave you get without putting out a whole lot of effort. For me, it's very close to being BPS by the time it's done and over with. These shavers are relatively inexpensive in comparison to the grand scheme of things. Blades are the biggest challenge in my opinion. There's not very many of them out there and you got to figure out which one's going to work for you. And when you do find one, the technique with the shaver is going to be awfully important. The scent's kind of perplexing for my nose. For somebody else's it may not be so much. Just every once in a while you just catch a whiff of something and I'm trying to figure out what it is. Or if I'm for sure that's musk or is it something else. Like I said, I've had this soap for a moment. Been trying to figure out what kind of scent does it remind me of. So I've been kind of, every once in a while I'll open the lid and take a whiff of it and trying to figure out, outside of just using just whatever aftershave I feel like using with it, trying to figure out what may come close. And I don't know, maybe depend on your nose. I was kind of leaning more towards the Aqua Velva Musk, but then this one here seems to come closer. It has more of a musk, the aftershave has more of a musk scent to it. And I feel like the Aqua Velva Musk has a sweeter scent to it, so I was trying to offset one with the other, I guess you might say. I guess you might say bring out the scent that might be further in the background. See how it works with my nose. If I have a feeling, I probably won't notice the difference. Because this is the time of the year for my nose that it may work part of the day and the other part of the day it may not work at all. It may not smell much of anything. It has been a while since I made a video. Made several visits to the doctor with my wife. This last surgery has been a little bit of a challenge, trying to figure out what all's going on with the incision. It's kind of one of those things where take 2 steps forward and 1 backwards. But at least there's a progress going in the right direction. But I think I'm closer right now to be getting in more of a routine with my videos. I did decide to stick with the same shaver, single edge, all week. And I think that kind of helped things out for me when it comes to getting back in tune with this particular shaver. Because with the once a week, it's I go through the shave pretty quick. No, how can you say, ill results for going just at that speed, going pretty quick. But shaving with it all week long, I realized, I think right around the 3rd shave, Wednesday, going into Thursday, that I might want to take my time, slow it down a little bit, because I end up with a spot on this side which is different for me. Usually it's always this side. If there's going to be a side that screams that there's something wrong, it's going to be over here. This time the skin got tender over here, which is very unique. In other words, kind of rare for me for that to take place. So either I got the pressure a little bit too much pressure on that side, or the speed at which I was shaving with caused it to be tender right there. It's fine now, but I did notice at the end of the shave that it was pretty tender right there. It wasn't even red, it was just felt tender. So in other words, there is a learning curve with this shaver. And it may not be for everyone. So the speed at which you shave with this shaver might actually make a difference. And of course the angle. Angle to me is going to be awfully important, because if you get too steep of an angle, it's going to be very aggressive. Your face is going to know it. To me, the Gem Micromatics, especially once you figure out which ones works that you like the best, Flying Wing to me is the easiest one. It's not near as aggressive. It's easy to use, in my opinion. For me, it's just like you can use it for a daily shave, or at least I've been able to, and not have any ill effect from using it. This one here, you'd have to pay closer attention to. But I guess you might say, in my opinion, these are about as close to getting a DE type style shave, where twist open, how it works, you work with it. In other words, a lot of your technique that you've used with a DE will work just fine with this one here. Find the angle, pressure, then the blade. If you stick with the keeping this portion, at least my experience has been, keeping this portion flat to your face, especially using this one, it'll be a lot better for you, in my opinion. My experience has been that way. Then if you're looking for something more aggressive, then tilt it up. But once you get past all that, it's the blade. There's not very many blades that are made for this particular kind of shaver. Treat Supers is the one I first found that worked really well for me. Those blades seemed to give me pretty smooth shaves before I finally found a place where I could find the Teflon coated gem blades. Even with a, how can you say, a shave like this, but if I was against the green pass, if I was angling it a little bit right through here, I would have caught that, just that little bit that's back over there. and that's the only thing I have left on my face that needs to be picked up to get a BBS. So in other words, for me, it's pretty much kind of effortless, just going through the same routine of with the grain against the grain, across the grain, and my shave would have been perfect in the way of a BBS. My definition of a perfect shave is no nicks, cuts, irritation, weepers, none of that sort of thing. Everything is, in other words, just a smooth, comfortable shave. That's perfect for me. Because by the end of the day, nobody's going to notice these whiskers at the end of the day. So that shave, in other words, will last you all day. The avoiding of the the 5 o'clock shadow, like the advertisements from days gone by. Now, when I got to the fourth shave, on the last blade I used, it was pretty tuggy on the against the grain pass, and to a degree I had a, I guess you might say, a wholesale stinging from the alum block over most of my face. So about 4 shaves is about as far as I push it with one of these. With this shaver, now with the flying wing, I can go 5 because it's a milder shaver, so the blade for me lasts longer with a shaver like that. Still got that little bit of, it's letting me know it's still not happy right there. But during the shave, you know, I didn't feel anything. Wasn't stinging during the shave or anything like that, so it's still probably trying to heal up a little bit. Don't think I'm going to have very more shaves left with this witch hazel. Yeah, I think I have narrowed things down when it comes to witch hazels. I still have a few. I have a part of a Thayer's bottle that's got aloe in it, and I'll finish it up. But I'm thinking this is going to be my go-to witch hazel. Is going with one that's unscented and it's mentholated. I might pick a few that are that have a scent to them, but keep the menthol in it, because that cooling effect on the face, everything's, you know, you can just feel your face calming down. At least that's what it feels like with my face. I know my son. It's kind of funny watching his reaction when he uses something like this, because that cooling effect is something that you're new to shaving or haven't used a mentholated one. That cooling effect, what it does to your face, is very noticeable. It's I guess you might say it's not for those that are, if you're concerned about what it may do to you. I don't know that this would be the kind of witch hazel that's mentholated. I don't know that everybody will find it as enjoyable as I do. Guess you might say, if you're, even though you may not have used Cryogen or any of these other soaps and aftershaves that are known to be, you know, for their cooling effect, you know, in a big way, this witch hazel is this way, in my opinion. It's the cooling effect is just huge. It just the highlight of the shave, if you will. It is great. I really like it. Enjoy the heck out of it. It's probably one of the finds that I enjoy the most that I have found through my travels, as it goes for witch hazel, is finding this one. I really like it. And as it goes for the scent, I can't tell you for sure. I know sometimes, depending on how my nose is working, this one here, sometimes, you know, about 2 hours is about all the more I can smell it. And then there's other days it'll go a good 4 hours, just depending on how well my nose is working. I noticed that the other day with an aftershave, that sometimes it'd be kind of spotty on how much I would smell. And I noticed the other day when I used it, that it was kind of shocking that it was well after lunch and I could still, every once in a while, I could still smell it, which was first time I've ever had that happen. So whether it's just stuck in my nose a little bit, or was I actually smelling it, you know, from, you know, being on my face. Just kind of an odd thing with my nose, the way it works. I'll put a link down below. This stuff here is not very expensive. And about the, as goes for being inexpensive and might, how can you say, kind of rival price and value and whatnot, the Aqua Velvet Musk, in my opinion, is it is a really nice aftershave for that price. And this one here, you know, comes pretty close to, you know, matching it up with, as it goes for value. Don't see any weepers. Sometimes in the light it's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of funny because the light here, and then you go outside and look in the mirror and you see all kinds of different things that you never noticed in the bathroom. Anyway, had a great shave. Tomorrow's going to be a DE shave if everything goes well. Hope everybody is doing well. Today for us locally, as it goes for college football, OU is playing OSU, so you got the Sooners playing the Cowboys, and so that's going to be a big game today. And there might be a few others out there, but anyway, you know what I'm going to be doing today. All right, everybody, stay safe and smooth shaves to you.